Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today is the first part of 3 book calls that I will be doing in February. For 3 different reasons. I've had some books that have been sent to me via publishers for review, as well as some comics and graphic novels that I've bought myself. And then in part 2, I'm going to be talking about the books that I picked up when I had a trip to a very exciting secondhand bookshop. And then the third part will be books that I bought for myself this month. So I will be having three book calls over the next week or so, keep your eyes peeled for those. So today I'm going to be talking about the books that I've been sent for publishers for review, as well as some graphic novels and comics that I have picked up. So the first book that I want to talk about is The Never Evers by Tom Ellen and Lucy Iverson. This writing duo wrote one of my favourite books from last year, which was called Lobsters. It was one of my favourite YA contemporary books. It was hilarious. I loved it. You should definitely check the video out or check the book out. But I really enjoyed it in part because it was set in the UK, and obviously being from the UK myself meant that I could recognise certain things, certain bits of humour, and obviously a lot of YA contemporary is set in America, and that the school system in America is something that I am not familiar with. It's totally different from the school system in the UK. And so when I read YA contemporary set in the US, it's a different experience for me. So Lobsters was a much more familiar experience reading, and I have high hopes for this one as well. So I'll read you the back of this one because it sounds like it's going to be fun. The school ski trip isn't going to plan. Mouse has fallen out with her friends and Jack's totally clueless about girls. But when a French pop star, who Jack's a dead ringer for, arrives in the resort, the snowy slopes begin to get a bit more interesting. So it just sounds really fun, and I went on school trips when I was at school, and they were always hilarious and full of fun and frolics, so I have high hopes for this. Next up is an extremely exciting book, and that is Morning Star by Pierce Brown. I absolutely loved Red Rising by Pierce Brown, which is the first book in this trilogy. The second book is Golden Sun, which I am going to be reading, or I may have already read by the time you see this, and Morning Star is the final conclusion in this trilogy. It's extremely exciting and I can't wait to read it. I love as I say, Red Rising. It's a science fiction book set on Mars, and it's about different hierarchies and different statuses within the world, and it's just really brilliant. So I can't wait to finish these. And once I've read Golden Sun and Morning Star, I'm going to be doing a trilogy review to give you a bit more idea about the books. So keep your eyes peeled for that. The next book was sent to me from 27 Publishing, and I'm really excited to try this one. It's called Sophia Khan Is Not Obliged by Ayesha Malik, and it sounds like a really interesting adult contemporary. I'll read you the back because it explains it better than I would. It says, when her sort of boyfriend, possibly marriage partner to be, proves a little too close to his parents, Sophia Khan is ready to renounce men for good. Or at least she was until her boss persuades her to write a tell-all expose on the Muslim dating scene. As her woes become her work, Sophia must lean on the support of her brilliant friends, baffled colleagues and baffling parents as she seeks stories for her book. But in amongst the marriage-crazy relatives, racist tube passengers and polygamy-inclined friends, could there be a lingering possibility that she might just be falling in love? And it just sounds hilarious and a really good read, so I can't wait to get to this one. The next book was sent to me as my Willoughby book club for this month, and that was Family Life by Akil Sharma. This looks really exciting. It's set in the 70s and it's about an 8-year-old boy and his brother. They live in Delhi, and I think you learn a bit about Delhi life. Their father gets a job in America and they move over, but something happens which causes them problems. It says that Family Life is the story of a boy torn between duty and survival amid the ruins of everything he once knew, and this just sounds really good. It's not a terribly long book, but it looks like it's going to be an interesting one, and it's won the Folio Prize, so yeah, I'm excited to give this one a go. Right, and then now on to the few comics and graphic novels that I bought. I picked up Coffin Hill by Caitlin Kitteridge and Inaki Miranda. This is volume 1. I saw this on somebody else's channel. I think it was Chelsea from the Reading Outlaw, and I just thought the artwork looked right up my street, and I'm excited to give this one a go and see if I enjoy it. I think it's about vampires. Recently I watched the Netflix original series Jessica Jones, which I adored and whizzed through. I really loved it, so if you haven't watched it, it's worth a watch if you like comic book hero type series. Yeah, it was just really, really good. And so one of the characters in that, Jessica Jones's best friend, is Patsy Walker, and she is aka Hellcat. And so I've picked up issues 1 and 2 of Hellcat to try, because I just thought it sounded like it was a fun series and I liked the look of the artwork. And so I wanted to give it a go. So I picked up the first 2 because I think by the end of the second one, I should get a good idea of whether it's something I want to continue with. Next up, I picked up Symmetry, which is by Matt Hawkins and Raphael Ineco. This is issue 1, and there's not a lot I knew about this. It was on the desk at my local comic book shop, and I liked the look of the artwork, and I read the little blurb on the inside. I'll read it to you now, and it just really piqued my interest. When artificial intelligence becomes ubiquitous, humanity was confronted with a choice: continue the endless cycle of violence or make a real change. The system optimizer for longevity, or SOL, was engineered. When it came online, it worked under humanity's guidance to build a better future. Ambition, diversity, creativity, and instruments of capital were eliminated for the greater good. Everyone was given a personal AI joined with their brain in utero to connect them with SOL and the community. These response artificial intelligence network archetypes became known as RAINA. Society has now 4 pillars: community, peace, harmony, and equality. Everything was designed to support this ideology. Robots took over all labour. Humanity entered its most harmonious age. It had finally found its symmetry. So, yeah, this sounds like it might not be... perhaps things are going to be going awry, so yeah, I just wanted to give it a go because it looked fun. And then finally I picked this one up on a whim, partly because of the name and partly because I just thought it sounded quite good, and that is Username Evie by Joe Sugg. Now, if you recognise the surname there, you may not be surprised to realise that Joe Sugg is Zoe Sugg's brother. Zoe Sugg of Zoella on YouTube, and also of Girl Online, the Girl Online books that she has co-written with a ghostwriter recently, which I enjoyed. And he has done a graphic novel along with some others, and I picked it up in a shop and I thought I quite like the look of this. It looks like it might be quite interesting, and the synopsis sounded quite good. So from what I can imagine, it's about a young girl who dreams of, you know, everything she wanted, but unbeknownst to her, her father is actually creating this sort of ideal place for her, and I don't know much more than that, so I'm really intrigued to give it a go and see what I think of it. So that's the books that I've either been sent to by publishers for review, or the graphic novels and comics I've picked up to give a go, and my book for my Willoughby Book Club. Have you read any of these? What do you think of them? Have you got any new books recently? What are they? I'd love to hear, and let's chat in the comments. Okay, bye for now, BookTube.